Go Pack Go. Go Pack Go. All right, let's see what the Packers can do here. Sturdivant. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Make it so that anybody. All right, all right, all right. So the Green Bay Packers got their family night happening right here, right now. This is going to be a fun opportunity just to see what can the Packers do. It's an opportunity for these young guys to get used to a huge crowd at Lambeau Field or just a huge crowd in general because not every not every college team has a giant crowd right in front of them. Of course, I'm watching this family night. Jordan Love is getting all warmed up. We're going to see what these players can do in front of the crowd. In front of the crowd. Can the Packers have a much better season this season compared to the previous season? That's the big question mark, right? The biggest question mark out there. All right. Who is this guy, Perry? So they're going to test out a bunch of their players here, a bunch of their like third string, fourth string guys, basically guys they're going to play in the upcoming preseason games. They got their first preseason game against the Steelers. I believe it's in Pittsburgh. So they're going to be able to see Aaron Rodgers for one last time because it's the final season for the legendary quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Would be really cool though if it ends up being like a Packers versus Steelers Super Bowl, but we will see what happens. All right, family night at Lambeau Field. Green Bay Packers are getting ready to go. Basically, Packers against the Packers. Not sure how hard they're going to hit. Probably not going to hit as hard. But I guess what they said that they had previously hit very hard in the past, but now because these football players get paid a whole lot of money, they can't afford to get players injured in an event like this. So, so if you're a fan of the NFL, please feel free to write a comment, make a type out a message in the chat. Let me know what you think. Who is going to the Super Bowl? I think what hurt the Packers last season was the offensive line. 27th in the league for the offensive line. You can't tell me right here, right now, that that had affected the Packers. But in all honesty, they still had a top offense, even with the 27th in the league offensive line. Injuries plagued this team last season, but I think they're going to have a huge bounce back, even without Michael Parsons out there. Tyrod Taylor, who is the backup QB. Who's the fourth and fifth wide receiver for the Packers? They're going to test these guys out and find out. They got updated Guardian caps. They actually don't look half as bad as they used to. You know, they actually have like these grooves in the pads of the Guardian cap. Isaiah Nair, that's a name to look out for the Packers wide receivers. Isaiah Nair is a 6'4" wide receiver. Holy smokes. Michael Sturdivant. Will this guy make the roster? You're about to test them out. Big question is how many wide receivers will be on the freaking 53-man roster? Hey, what's going on, Panthers 375? The Packers got their family night event happening. It's the Packers versus the Packers. They're probably not gonna hit as hard. Who knows? I haven't seen one of these actually, but they're all getting ready to perform in front of a big crowd here at Lambeau Field. Lucas Van Ness, does he have a phenomenal season, or is he gonna play like he's been playing in the past? Some people say Lucas Van Ness, this could be his breakout season right here because some of those guys, they don't break out until their 4th or 5th season. Yeah, Christian Watson is pretty good. He just has to stay healthy. He takes the top off the defense. Oh, look, Micah Parsons is out there. This team got plagued by injuries last season. If they can just stay healthy, they will go much farther than last season. What are my thoughts on losing Malik Willis? I thought Malik Willis was an excellent backup quarterback for this team. I wish him very well. You know, he played pretty well when he had the opportunity to play. But for Malik Willis to get the opportunity now to be a starting quarterback, that's excellent to see for him. However, he is going to play on a Dolphins team that doesn't have a team around him. So there might be a little bit of a struggle for Malik Willis as he operates on a Miami Dolphins team that's not going to be exactly the same as the Green Bay Packers. They have Jeff Hafley, but Jeff Hafley is a defensive mind playing. He's not going to be controlling the defense, I would say. I mean, we'll see how he operates, I guess, Jeff Hafley for the Dolphins. But he's going to be the head coach for the Dolphins and not the defensive coordinator. So that's a little bit different. Brenton Cox Jr. Will he have a breakout season? That's another thing too. They got so many great players that they have the opportunity now to break out before Micah Parsons comes back and takes over that spot. So Micah Parsons might not be back till middle of October. Does any of these defensive ends and edge rushers step up? I think that the Packers are going to use Edger and Cooper to get after the quarterback. Caleb Williams, it's going to suck this year. The Madden curse, is it going to get him 3 years later? He's going to be trying out for a cheerleader. Well, yeah, I strongly believe in the Madden curse, and I think it's going to affect him this season. You know, you look at Saquon Barkley, who had 2,000 rushing yards a previous season. His numbers were cut in half this past season. And I've seen, every now and then there's a Madden curse that doesn't happen, I guess, on certain players, but I think it's going to happen for Caleb Williams. Did that thing go correctly? Haven't done a poll before. Why did it say that? Will the Packers have a good season? I think so. The Packers have revenge against the Bears this season. Let's do that as a poll. Hey Ezra, how you doing? So it's a no for what? It's a no for what? Do the Bears, they don't have a family night or any kind of event, right? Where they have their team against each other on the field just to test out what they can do? Bear down, more like the Bears are going down. Okay. Packers will not exact revenge this season. Packers will not exact revenge this season. Why do you think that? Why do you think that is? Marshawn Lloyd looking real good right now. We'll see if he actually makes it to the regular season. We'll see if he actually performs in the regular season. The Bears have a family day for practice, not an organized practice at the stadium. Okay. Well, maybe when the Bears have a new stadium, they can have an event like the Packers do. Jordan Love is LaFleur's bottleneck, but we'll just wait to see. We'll see. Who is the Green Bay Packers backup quarterback? At the moment, the backup quarterback is Tyrod Taylor. He's a little bit older, but he's got a good mindset, I believe, for this team. Oh, they just threw a pass. Okay. Tyrod Taylor, yeah. The biggest question mark is the offensive line. Can the offensive line protect the quarterback? Can the offensive line create the holes necessary for the running game? Because if you don't have an offensive line, the running game is basically stopped immediately. So there were people that said, "Oh, well, I think Josh Jacobs took a step back last season." No, it was the offensive line. The offensive line went from 3rd in the league to 27th in the league. They got their guy Jagger Burton, 6'4", 312 pounds. They're gonna test this guy out. He's a guard slash center. How has DDS looked? Deny Dennis Sutton? He's been pretty good from what I've heard. Tyrod Taylor. No, he's the who's on the Jets? Fields is in Kansas City. Yeah, he's in Kansas City. What does that mean? So if you want to bone up on your own roster, what does that even mean? What does that mean, Wedge? Yeah, they're not hitting hard. They're not really being too aggressive here in front of the crowd. This is just an opportunity for some of these young players to get used to a huge crowd in front of them before they go to the preseason games. The start of the preseason game next week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe it's on the 13th of August. Study up. What do you mean study up? Denied it at Sutton. I think it's going to be really good. But looking good at training camp, looking good in the preseason, that's a little bit different than looking good in the regular season. Oh, Chris Brooks is out with a hamstring injury. Jesus. But Marshawn Lloyd, he has gone out to see the hamstring specialist, the same specialist that Christian Watson had seen that had seemed to have fixed up his issues with the injury problems. So we're hoping that Marshawn Lloyd can be that guy that running back number 2, or maybe he takes over as running back number 1. Marshawn Lloyd has been very explosive in training camp. The guy had done a freaking backflip, I guess, the other day. And for me, like knowing that he had so many issues with his hamstring, that guy should not be doing backflips. All right, they're going to do a player introduction now. What made you change your mind on that week 1 Panthers versus Bears game? You got the Panthers winning that. Yeah, I think the Panthers are going to win that game. I got to be honest. Yeah, the Panthers, they lost some key players. They lost a couple guys in the offensive line. They lost Nick Scorton, a good guy that can get after the quarterback. They lost Brazel, but they got some guys that can catch that football. And I think that the Panthers still have a decent defense. Their offense, it can be okay-ish. They got Jonathan Brooks. Jonathan Brooks is just like a Marshawn Lloyd that can be very explosive. He just has to make it to the regular season. Yeah, Geno Smith is now the Jets quarterback. I don't think that was a great move by the Jets, but at the same time, what quarterback wants to go out and play for the cursed up Jets? Aaron Rodgers went there. People thought Aaron Rodgers would have just turned that ship around for the Jets. He gets injured in his first game, doesn't play at all for an entire season for the most part. That's never happened for Aaron Rodgers. Then the second season, he goes out and he tries to get some of his friends to participate on the Jets team, and that didn't work out. To be honest, I hope we beat the Bears. Only reason I don't like Caleb Williams is because he's a crybaby, not because he paints his nails. Hmm. The thing with the Panthers, they had many the Bears, the Bears had made many upgrades at offensive line that enabled their running game to excel, that enabled Caleb Williams to have more time to throw the football. At the same time, Caleb Williams' numbers still aren't that spectacular. So does Caleb Williams take the next step this upcoming season, knowing that he has a better offensive line? How does their offense affect when they no longer have DJ Moore on it? Yes, they have a bunch of tight ends on their team. Big question mark for them. Also, is their defense. They have their guy Colby Bryant. Who knows how long he will be out for? There were articles that said he would be out for 4 to 10 weeks, but then again, there was another article that said they aren't quite sure of when Colby Bryant will be back. So not having your top safety potentially could dictate how things can pan out potentially on defense. Do the Bears have a significant pass rush capability? Do they have a couple of guys that developed during the offseason? That's always a possibility. There's always a guy that could out of nowhere just have a breakout season. That's always a possibility. That's why these games are very unpredictable at times. What's funny is GTA 6 is going to come out before the Bears get a quarterback who throws for 4,000 yards. I don't know. We'll see what happens. They got some good tight ends that can catch the football. They got two wide receiver twos. Maybe one of them becomes a wide receiver one. I don't know. I just think that they have Burden, they have Odunze. What do they have after that? They have what's his name? Xavion Thomas. I don't know how good he will be. He kind of seems like a Bo Melton type of player. He might have flashes here and there. He's got speed. Having speed is one thing, but this is the NFL level. It's a little bit different than college. But I can't say much. Cam Newton only down at one time in his rookie year, drawing for 4,000 yards. Well, Cam Newton was also an MVP in the league. He also made it to a Super Bowl. He didn't win the Super Bowl, but at least he made it to a Super Bowl. He was a force to be reckoned with, a running quarterback, but also he threw the ball decently at times. But as he got older, he couldn't really run the football as much. I mean, he couldn't run the ball himself as much. I think he does. He will throw for 4K plus in yards, 30 plus touchdowns. I see Roman Luther picking up the slack for DJ. Loveland will be a top 3 tight end. Yeah, it's a possibility Loveland becomes a top 3 tight end. He showcased that he can perform decently last season. But 4,000 yards, I believe that's never happened before for a Bears quarterback to reach 4K passing yards. So maybe he should absolutely try to make that his goal, to try and break that number. All right, Packers are going to have their introductions here apparently. This is the first time I've gone live, by the way, in a while. The Bears lost DJ Moore. The Bears so cooked. I mean, numbers wise, DJ Moore they were decent numbers, but I think that the threat of him being on the field kind of transforms how it might play out potentially, but you never know. What's the news on Josh Jacobs' health? I believe Josh Jacobs has a groin injury. It's not a significant one, I guess, but it's a groin injury. So Packers just got to be mindful, and hopefully he can come back in full strength. I'm assuming that Josh Jacobs will probably not play for any preseason game, just to make sure that they have him for the regular season. Well, yeah, the leading target was who was it? It was Loveland, correct? I think the same thing for the Packers. It was Tucker Kraft until he got injured. So the new number 87 for the Green Bay Packers, because Romeo Dobbs is gone, they have Michael Sturdivant, who is trying to make it on the 53-man roster. We'll see. That's what I'm looking for. I always look forward for these types of games. I saw that game last night, that Panthers versus Cardinals game. It was actually more enjoyable than the Super Bowl. You know, that Super Bowl that last Super Bowl was a straight up snooze fest. So you think the top receivers for the top targets for the Bears will be Loveland, then Luther Burden? We'll see what happens. Panthers have decent safeties on their team, so you got to understand that. Like, I think the Panthers' biggest strength is their defense, and their biggest question mark is basically their quarterback, Bryce Young. If my Panthers don't do good this season, I probably root for the Packers. Well, we'll see what happens. It's a long, long season. It's a game of injuries. Anything can happen. I would agree that the Super Bowl was cheeks. It absolutely was cheeks. Freaking Patriots weren't even ready for the Seahawks. It almost seems like the NFC is just on a whole different level than the AFC. But then again, it would have been different, I think, if the Broncos quarterback didn't get injured, it might have been a much better Super Bowl. It's good to see Georgia. It's good to see a Georgia quarterback versus a Georgia Tech quarterback in the NFL going against each other. All right. This is basically a Packers practice. Returned by Strong Jr., I believe he's one of the running backs. For me, I live in the Carolinas, so it's easy to catch a Carolina Panthers game. I just got to turn on Fox on Sunday. Got my NFL Sunday ticket ready. Packers are going to be on Netflix for 2 games this season, which is ridiculous to me. If you're gonna put a game on Netflix, at least put it on another channel too. You know, not everybody has Netflix or are willing to support that platform. My biggest concern is the wide receivers. I know we got McMillan, but besides him, we really don't have no one else. Well, I believe the Panthers, they have McMillan, they have Coker, they have what's his name? The guy that eats raccoons. They have a guy that straight up goes and hunts raccoons. What's that guy's name? What's that guy's name? Will Josh Jacobs play, or does he only get physical with women? Hey, I think he's going to do both. McLovin Me Softly. That's a cool name, McLovin Me Softly. I mean, the Panthers, all right, they got McMillan. He's obviously their top target. It's going to be his second season. Second season for McMillan. You know, does he have a sophomore slump, or does he turn on the Jets and become better this season? They also have Jalen Coker for the Panthers. Great target. Xavier Legette. He's the guy that hunts down raccoons and like skins them and eats them somehow. Then you got a really fast guy in Jimmy Horn Jr. They also picked up John Mechie. John Mechie was actually a receiver for Bryce Young in college, so that might be a good thing for the Panthers to have that continuity of chemistry between a wide receiver and the quarterback. Has it been confirmed yet if Josh Jacobs will be on the cover of GTA 6? I don't know about that one, but a lot of people were putting Terrion Arnold on the cover of GTA 6 with the craziness that that guy has done. At least Josh Jacobs still has a job, you know. At least he still has a job. Could be worse. Could be Terrion Arnold and kicked out of the NFL. Or he will probably get picked up by somebody. How do you like the third round pick in Chris Brazil? I like Brazil. It's just that he got injured and he is done for the season. So this guy is probably Brazil is probably going to have to. He's going to have the opportunity to learn the playbook at least while he's recovering, I guess, from his surgery. They can both be on it. It will be the NFC North edition. Lots of mental reps for Brazil. That's wild though to stay straight up have an ACL tear on your first practice. And in reality, they weren't supposed to practice on the field for the first day. I guess it was a rule by the NFL to not practice on the field. But then they had a practice on a wet field that caused the injury. Yeah, Brazil won't be playing this season. He's out for the season. I'm pretty sure Horn Jr. is the kid of Joe Horn. Huh. Who's Joe Horn? NFL Joe Horn. Joe Horn. Oh, his son, J.C. Horn. The Panthers have two guys, I believe, named Horn, right? Yeah, they do. So the Panthers, they have a receiver named Jimmy Horn Jr., and then they also have a corner called J.C. Horn. And J.C. Horn is the son of Joe Horn. So I guess they like to have horns on both sides of the ball. Surprised they're not on the Vikings. You think that Kenny Pickett going to make the 53-man roster? I think Kenny Pickett's about to get cut. Either Kenny Pickett gets cut or he goes to the practice squad. That Haynes King was looking very confident out there. Some of the Panthers streamers were like, "Oh, does this mean that Bryce Young is going to be threatened with his job opportunity with his Haynes King guy?" No, the Haynes King guy, he went up against third and fourth stringers, but at the same time, he had some third and fourth stringers on offense, but he performed at a confident with a confident mindset out there. Easy wasn't Joe Horn the guy who hid the cell phone in the goal post pad. This is basically a practice, pass rush practice right here. But the fun part about these preseason games, these third and fourth stringers are trying to get the opportunity to make the 53-man roster. You know, they're not all going to make it, but there's always an opportunity that somebody does make it. That's a long pass and caught. Bo Melton catches a long pass. See, Bo Melton is that little bit shorter but high speed player, probably similar to a Xavion Thomas of the Bears. There's another pass. Oh, deflected. But as far as the Packers corners, this might be the last season of Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine. Getting ready for another great season. Chicago versus everybody. LOL. Matthew Golden breakout season is loading up. Channeling my inner Don Burr. I don't hate Chicago. I just dislike them. They're one of the NFL teams, the first NFL teams. That's awesome. Some of you guys should do some more prediction videos. I get some of the craziest comments when I do prediction videos. But people got to take those prediction videos with a grain of salt, you know? Well, I'm going to be a little bit biased cuz I got the Packers logo right here. You got the Packers logo right there. I hope Jonathan Brooks becomes the next McCaffrey. It's possible. They're saying that he's explosive. He just has to stay healthy. He had like 2 ACL repair surgeries. So Panthers, what's your WL prediction for the Panthers this year? And does Bryce Young get another contract from the Panthers? I think for Bryce Young, it's a make it or break it season. He's got to perform up to some even better standards this season than the previous season. He's got to continue to take the steps forward. Otherwise, that guy was just a waste of a first round pick, it seems like. I know that the Panthers went from like a last place team to they made it to the playoffs, They made it to the playoffs with a losing record last season, but is this the season in which the Panthers make it to the playoffs with a winning record? Now, if you look at the Panthers division, no, the Falcons got issues at quarterback. They have a great running back, but they have issues at quarterback. Who the heck is the quarterback of the Falcons? Those guys are always injured in Penix and Tua. Don't like to get into predictions because of injuries, trade coaches getting fired all over the NFL, so it's hard to predict. Yeah, NFL is very hard to predict. If a bunch of your opponents have significant injuries during the season and your team gets the wins there, like I know wins are wins, but it's it makes things a little bit different, right? There might be a team that racks up a bunch of wins because their opponents got all injured up in some way, somehow. They make themselves they make it into the playoffs. And in the playoffs, that's a huge test. You're going up against the best of the best. First overall pick with Young, traded away a haul to the Bears to draft him. The only reason Bryce Young did terrible in his rookie year is Olan was banged up. His best receiver was Adam Thielen, who was who was past who was past his prime. I believe the Panthers have a much better offensive line. They actually have a projected way better offensive line than the Packers do. But the Bears have a number 2. The Bears have the second best offensive line, apparently. And I bet you don't even remember DJ Chuck, our Johnson Mingo. I put on my superhero costume. It's Ezra, by the way. I don't know how you guys do this and go live, but I have not gone live since a while ago. The last time I went live was over a year ago for the 2025 NFL Draft. Oh, big catch. Who caught that? Oh, Christian Watson. Big catch on the sideline there. Guy is looking smooth. Christian Watson actually put on some muscle. The good thing about putting on some muscle, that means that he can handle more hits. That's the thing. Like, you got to really condition your body, condition your body during the season, condition your body during the off season. These guys have to be smart with all that. They make so much money. They can have a personal chef, personal trainer. They could do it all. Obviously, Hayden Hurts. Those were the Bryce Young weapons in his first year. You got to get back into the swing of it. Ask Panther to co-host. It's a lot easier when you feed off each other. That's the thing. Like, how do you co-host? I don't know what you guys use to co-host. I do, however, I will jump on some other podcasts. There's people that use what is called StreamYard, and I'll hop on other people's podcasts, and they'll have like 10 people on one stream. I actually do have one of my friends is actually from the Carolinas. He's a big Panthers fan. He lives in Florida, but he's not about showing off his face. What are you using to stream? I'm actually streaming directly on YouTube right now. But you guys use OBS? Is that what you use? I have OBS on this computer. It's a Mac computer though. I don't know how good the connection is. Like I'm here in the Carolinas, so my connection is not always spectacular. So it might skip around sometimes. But co-stream with OBS, I think I'd have to look into that. Yeah, there is StreamYard. For StreamYard, if you want a customized version, I think you got to pay extra to have a customized StreamYard. Brandon Sorrell, man, or Baron Sorrell, that's his name. That dude looks like a freaking beast. Baron Sorrell, that's a pass rusher people need to look out for. I think here's Jordan Love about to throw the football here, dropping back to pass, and he gets it. Oh, a little overthrown to Watson. So you use OBS when streaming Tecmo Bowl, but we use StreamYard for the Bears. You really use StreamYard? I didn't know that. So you pay money for StreamYard to customize it, correct? Yeah, Watson. I mean, is it really Watson? It was kind of overthrown. All right, back to pass. Big throw here. And it's caught by Matthew Golden in the end zone. Matthew Golden has great hands. Matthew Golden is going to take on the role that Romeo Dobbs had last season. So Romeo Dobbs, his hands are not as good as Matthew Golden. But Matthew Golden has speed. He has great hands. Some say he might be the guy who ends up being the wide receiver number one for this team. Well, they got Antonio Freeman on this podcast. Dang, Antonio Freeman looks old, like an old man on the podcast. He used to be a top target for Brett Favre back in the day. I would want my 100 million wide receiver to make that catch. It has a free version, but it has a StreamYard watermark. And yes, we pay to customize the layouts and to simulcast. Okay. Yeah, maybe someday I'll do the StreamYard thing. Can you customize the StreamYard even with the StreamYard watermark? Ooh, missed that one. Oh, Brandon Cisse, the new corner. Some are saying that Brandon Cisse, number 2, he's looking like Jair Alexander in his prime out there. So finally, the Packers go out and they draft a couple of cornerbacks. I really hope they don't pull the whole seniority thing like they did with Rashawn Gary last season. They should just throw out the seniority thing out the window because if you got better guys that are on your team, you better use them. Rashawn Gary was moving slower than a snail. I saw footage of him on the Cowgirls, and he was getting pushed around, like, very easily, so good to see Rashawn Gary on the Cowgirls because I don't like the Cowgirls, and I don't think they're gonna go that far. This is they always say it's their year. Oh, there's a pass and a catch. Who was that? That's Marshawn Lloyd. Oh, Strong. Probably yes. I thought the Bears and the Packers were not supposed to get along, and you all are getting along. Well, there was that one interview by Ben Johnson where he's like, "Oh, the Packers and the Bears should not be talking. It makes the rivalry worth watching or whatever." We're civils, Panthers, we're not getting along. There's a difference, LOL. It's a huge rivalry. I mean, I think it's probably good for the rivalry that the Bears had some success last season. Otherwise, it's it kind of does get kind of boring if your team is always winning. A little bit of a back and forth battle kind of makes it a little bit more exciting. Oh, there's a catch. Who's that? Oh, Melton with the catch. Oh, they got Tyrod Taylor out there at quarterback. Let's see what he can do. Big pass. Oh, is that a catch? Number 80. That's that guy Nair. Isaiah Nair. That guy is like 6'4". Dang. Was that a catch? Hands on it. Was that inbounds or out of bounds? Yeah, that's out of bounds. They got Tucker Kraft out there. They're slowly going to work him in. He probably doesn't play a single preseason game. All right, here's a pass. It's dropped. Almost intercepted. Who is that? McCord? All right. Number 13. Oh, is this the other guy? Oh, Chiron Drones. Let's see what he can do. He's at the 50-yard line, and he hands the ball off the middle. Do you think the Panthers D can stop the Bears offense week 1? That Panthers defense looks pretty scary on paper. They had a lot of upgrades. Drones is one of the Packers quarterbacks. He's either going to make the practice squad or he gets cut. So they really got to figure out who makes the practice squad or who gets cut. Kyron Jones, let's see what school he came from. He was an undrafted free agent. Kyron Jones from Virginia Tech. Well, they're going for a kick here. Packers' new kicker. It's up and it's good right down the middle. Trey smacked that football right through the goalpost. New special teams coach is very enthusiastic, apparently. Well, where did he play college? Kyron Jones played for Virginia Tech. He's 23 years young. He's still a young guy. He played for 4 seasons total, 3 at Virginia Tech and some place called Bay. Yeah, that's very exciting. They need to definitely have a special teams that operates a little bit more successfully because that definitely held them back. There is Marshawn Lloyd running the football, number 32. If you're the Bears, though, they probably sit here and watch this practice just to see how the Packers operate. You know, if you're an opposing team, you might as well sit down and watch something to get an idea how these guys move and operate. This is pretty vanilla. What's pretty vanilla? Am I going to get Madden 27? Probably not. I don't actually play a whole lot of video games. So even if it was like a Packers player on the cover, probably still wouldn't buy it. So I know some people are heavy gamers. They love the Madden series or whatever, like Madden. It's basically a practice, yeah. But it's kind of cool to be able to see a whole practice. Sean Ryan is in there at center. He has his Guardian cap on. Marshawn Lloyd up the middle. He looks good out there, that Marshawn Lloyd. He just needs to stay healthy. Apparently, Marshawn Lloyd, I've seen him actually stream before. He actually idolizes Barry Sanders, the running back that used to play for the Detroit Lions. Oh, there's a touchdown for Christian Watson. Christian Watson with a touchdown and a Lambeau leap. Well, they're not gonna have a full-on heavy hitting practice here because they don't want their players to get injured, you know? The Packers gotta figure out who's running back number 3. Well, it could be that Pierre Strong could be running back 3. Chris Brooks might be on the PUP list. Guess who got AJ Dillon? I know who got him. He's on the Carolina Panthers. Ooh, touchdown. Pierre Strong. Can your Panthers make it to the playoffs again while being under 500? Well, there has to be some team that makes it to the playoffs in that division. Some people are saying that that's still the division that's kind of lacking a little bit. So I don't think the Saints are all that spectacular. I don't like their quarterback. The Falcons have a great running back, but question marks at quarterback because they're always injured. The Buccaneers have question marks as far as financials. Are they going to sign Baker Mayfield or is he going to pack his bags and leave? I think as long as the Panthers can win most of their games within the division, they will take the division. AJ Dillon looked so totally awesome in the Hall of Fame game, tearing those second and third stringers up. What happened there? Oh, it got deflected somehow. It's okay to make mistakes now, like as long as they are learning from the mistakes now and hopefully when the season starts up that they are clicking on in a better way, like you can't always expect them to be 100% right from the get-go at these practices. These are basically practices to get them ready for the season. It's better to go out there and fix out the kinks before the season starts right back up. I was thinking about streaming yesterday for that Hall of Fame game. Savion Williams catches the football. So with Dobbs and Wicks no longer on the team, I think that gives more targeting opportunities to some of these other guys like Savion Williams and Matthew Golden. And they're going to have Tucker Kraft back, but hopefully he can be better health-wise. Stay healthy, of course. You have Travis Etienne, but we should trade him and our little good buddy, the Packers, for a pack of Skittles because A.J. Dillon going to be a good third string running back. Yeah, that's the question mark there for the Savion Williams got a touchdown. For the Carolina Panthers, they got like how many running backs? They have 4. They have Chuba Hubbard, Jonathan Brooks, ATN, and A.J. Dillon. Yeah. For them, they're going to be testing. Do they want to keep ATN or A.J. Dillon? But if A.J. Dillon continues to perform well, they're probably going to go with A.J. Dillon. Those Guardian caps, they kind of remind me of that. What was that character? Megamind? Like a Megamind type of character. Yeah. They look like Megamind. All right. Tyrod Taylor's out there. Or he's no longer out there. McCord is out there, number 18. I think it's really going to come down to McCord and Drones, who is going to be their practice squad guy. Because there's no way they're not going to keep all 4 quarterbacks. They're not going to keep both McCord and Drones. So they basically have to decide who is going to be that practice squad quarterback. Number 26, who's that? Well, who knows what happens when it comes to the 53-man roster. There can absolutely be some surprises. They can either go for 6 receivers or 7 receivers. They're going to have to decide between them all. They already got rid of Jerry Rice's son. Jerry Rice's son is no longer on the Packers. He had some sort of injury, and they just decided, you know what? Let's just let this guy go. What's your thoughts on the Panthers third string or probably second string? I think King has the opportunity to be the second string quarterback. He looks way better than Kenny Pickett. Some people say that Kenny Pickett might straight up just be cut. But if they only have those 3 quarterbacks, Bryce Young's your starter, Haynes King your second, your quarterback 2, and then Kenny Pickett is either cut or he's your practice squad guy. I think they should keep all 4 on the active and maybe carry 1 less wide receiver. Touchdown. Bo Melton. The wildest Super Bowl would be the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Green Bay Packers on Valentine's Day. Can you imagine that? That'd be wild, right? You have Mike McCarthy as the head coach of the Steelers. You got Aaron Rodgers. These guys are both formerly on the Packers, and then you'd have the Packers against that. That would be the craziest Super Bowl if that were to happen. Not saying that will happen, but you never know. I think King had the benefit of going against a vanilla defense and third stringers. I would like to see what he can do against some starters before I would put him ahead of a veteran. Well, Pickett has not been all that spectacular. You look at his numbers, I think Pickett's got like 16 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. Just on paper, like, Pickett is not spectacular. He's bounced around from team to team, and somehow he made his way to the Panthers. Dave Canales is normally goes with 2 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster and maybe put Kyle Trax on the practice squad. Who's Kyle Trax? Is Kyle Trax a quarterback? Alright, they're gonna do all punting, special teams drill. Will the Packers have revenge over the Bears? 67% said yes, 33% said no. Total of 18 votes. That's wild. Maybe I should make another poll. Let's see. Let's see. What team? I got a new poll out there. Love looked awful in that game. I enjoyed it. If you were asking me, Panther, was you mad that the Panthers beat the Packers last year? Was I mad? I was mad that Tucker Kraft got injured in that game. Tucker Kraft went and ran into his own guy. They had the throwback jerseys. It always seems like when the Packers wear those throwback jerseys, it doesn't always seem to go their way. Like, after that game, I was like, "Don't ever wear those throwback jerseys." All right, punt return. Matthew Golden was punt returning. I think Sky Moore is going to be a huge upgrade for punt return, kick return. They are going to use Sky Moore. I think he makes the team. His numbers were pretty good for the Niners last season doing the kick returns. I don't know about that whole Tucker Kraft jumping on the back of Jordan Love right there. Jesus, don't want to get injured before the season. Another segment of practice. They have a full crowd right now at Lambeau for this event. Why do you have a green light in your background? Mini Ruck. I thought it'd be cool to have a green light in my background. I can change the color. It doesn't have to be green. I could do a strobe light. I could do a red light. I could do a purple light. I could do a pink light. Do a blue light. There's a flash. Strobe light. Just like the green better. Now, everybody's got a different setup, I guess, but I don't have one of those green screens, I guess, that goes behind you. I'm just messing with you, man. I feel bad now. You're super nice. Okay. Go Bear fan. Is Ben Johnson the best coach y'all ever had? No, it's Ditka. I think it really, you really can't say that yet. I think can Ben Johnson get the Bears further in the playoffs than just winning the first game in the playoffs? Can Ben Johnson get the Bears to a Super Bowl? Can Ben Johnson get them to an NFC championship game? That remains to be seen because he only had one season as the head coach. But I hope he doesn't make it to the playoffs. But that's just me being a little biased here. And for the Packers, Matt LaFleur needs to keep his foot on the gas pedal. He can't be taking his foot off the gas pedal every time the Packers have a lead, especially if the running game is not working. If the Packers' offensive line is complete garbage, you can't sit there and just be like, "Oh, we got a lead, so we could just run the football, just run the ball, run the timeout, make it boring." It's better to me if the offensive line is not clicking, just do a bunch of medium range throws across the field and get the ball down the field, you know? Ben may one day be the best head coach for the Bears. He's the best head coach we've had since Ditka. I mean, for the Bears, they went from last place to first place in the division. They made it to the playoffs. They got lucky winning that first playoff game. What will they do in year 2 of Ben Johnson? That remains to be seen. Oh, they're trying to catch all these footballs. They do that catching drill where they try to catch as many footballs in their hands at the same time. Do I like Matt LaFleur? I think Matt LaFleur, I don't know. He's been the head coach now for 7 years. I think this is going to be his 8th season as the head coach. I think at some point you might need to move on from the guy. If the Packers don't make it farther than they did the previous seasons, they need to get more than just the 7th seed. They've been the 7th seed for like the past 3 seasons. The last time they won a playoff game was against the Cowgirls. But the past two playoffs, they had some significant injuries. It kind of prevented their progression, because you can't lose your top receiver, you can't lose your top edge rusher, you can't lose your top tight end and expect to go far in the playoffs when you got really tough teams like the Seahawks. Oh, he caught 5. The thing with Matt LaFleur, the players wanted Matt LaFleur to come back. And some of them believe that it wasn't Matt LaFleur's fault as to why they didn't go as far. They probably were looking at the injuries, the amount of injuries they piled up last season. Like, how do you expect to win without some of your top guys at premium positions? I think LaFleur is an excellent head coach. They got kids catching the football now. That's cool. They're wearing their Packer helmet. Oh, he caught 4. Oh, snap. He's got 5. Oh, how could he get more than 5? Oh. Family night continues coming up. Definitely looking forward for some preseason games. And then in about a month and some change, we got the regular season games. LaFleur in French means the flower. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You got 2 LaFleurs now in this league. The Cardinals head coach. I think the Cardinals will be better off if they use Carson Beck at quarterback, but Carson Beck is a rookie. It wouldn't be smart to just throw that guy into the fire, I think. I think they're going to go and roll with the other guy for a little bit before they throw Carson Beck out there. But a lot of people are predicting that the Cardinals will lose every single game this season. But at the same time, they have some good players though. They have Michael Wilson, who's a great wide receiver. Marvin Harrison Jr. has to step up a little bit or he's not going to stick around. And then they have a decent tight end. Not sure how spectacular the Cardinals defense is. But we'll see. But yeah, I think these streams only allow you to go like 2 hours or something like that. I think that's the limitation, possibly. Or I think that maybe the streams de- maybe the length of a stream is determined by the amount of subscribers that you have. Yawning is contagious. Yes. Yes, I agree. I'm not used to staying up late. I usually go to sleep early because I work. I have an alarm that goes off at 9 p.m. Eastern time zone to go to sleep. We're getting close to 10 p.m. here, so it's probably a good test for me because some of these football games are on late. Got some good matchups though coming up for the upcoming season. Oh, almost dropped my microphone. What is week 1 looking like? Yeah, advertisements. NFL week 1. The very first regular season game on the 9th of September. You got the Seahawks against the Patriots on NBC on a Wednesday night football game. That's wild. What's going on right now? We've got the Green Bay Packers against the Green Bay Packers for their family night. It's basically a practice for everybody to go and watch inside of Lambeau Field. So if you want to take a look at it, it's on packers.com, their website, and it's a live coverage of their practice pretty much. They're probably not showcasing their main plays, but they're showing that their abilities out there. Who's number 23? Some guy named Moore. But NFL season is upon us here. The actual season is not too far away. Got about a month until the 9th of September. Wednesday night football game on NBC. Probably have Chris Collins. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes. Now, here's a guy, Patrick Mahomes. So you got a Wednesday night football game, a Thursday night football game. So the 10th of September will be the Niners against the Rams on Netflix. Don't know how I'm going to watch that game. Probably on NFL Plus on my phone. And then Sunday, there's a ton of games. And then Monday night football game, Broncos against the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to get destroyed by the Broncos on Monday Night Football. I think the Seahawks will beat the Patriots on Wednesday night. Rams beat the Niners on Thursday night. There's a catch by number 26. Some guy Martinez got the football. Tampa Bay Bucks against the Bengals in Cincinnati. That might be a win by the Bengals if they're all healthy. And if Joe Burrow doesn't smash his head in. You got the Saints against the Detroit Lions. I think the Lions beat the Saints. I think the Jets beat the Titans. Ravens and Colts could be a good game, but I think the Ravens take the win. Steelers beat the Falcons, I think. Panthers over Bears. But I think that's going to be a very close game, you know. What version of the Panthers are you going to get? What version of the Bears are you going to get? Because these teams are getting used to the season. You got the Jags over the Brownies. Who the heck's the quarterback of the Brownies? Nobody knows. That's going to be a test to watch for the preseason. Got the Texans and the Buffalo Bills. Holy smokes. That's going to be a good game. Texans and Bills. How do I watch it? It's making download a app. Bears, get out this chat right now. You just go on Packers.com. I have it on my computer and you scroll down and it starts playing. I think the Bills beat the Texans in week 1. Dolphins and Raiders. Raiders beat the Dolphins. Packers at Minnesota. The Packers, of course. They're going to beat Minnesota in week 1. And you got the Philadelphia Eagles against the Washington Commanders. I think the Eagles are going to be a little bit better again this season. They beat the Commanders. Chargers beat the Cardinals. That's a deflected ball. Then the Sunday night football game, you got the Dallas Cowgirls against the Giants. I think the Cowgirls win, although I would love to see the Giants beat the Cowgirls on Sunday night football. Why did the Cowgirls get the first Sunday night football game? Like who? I wonder who determines these types of matchups, you know? Well, one of these days I should get a StreamYard set up. Maybe get a bunch of people hop on and talk about football on here. Probably a good way to network, expand. There's a lot of people out there that have all kinds of opportunities to have multiple people hop on their stream and talk about football. As long as it's at a point where people are not like calling people names on the stream. I've seen people just like yell and cuss on their streams. My job was park the cars of the Dallas Cowgirl. What? My job was park the cars of the Dallas Cowgirls. They were great. You parked the cars of the Dallas Cowgirls? How did you do that? James Joseph 4267. All right, let's see what happens here. Back to pass. And it's a catch. Oh, it's a drop. They were great, true. Something collect. What? Something collect. They probably had some really nifty looking vehicles. But yeah, everybody hit that like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already done so. I may or may not do, maybe I'll do more streams in the future. I just got to figure it out. Still kind of new to this. I mean, I used to do streaming more often in the past, but the YouTube, I guess, had suggested I should start doing more streams just to figure it out. Like, I do hop on other people's streams. Who wants to work for the Cowboys? I'm in. Well, yeah, that would be really cool to work for a team like that. Got to run, Vinny. Great show, brother. Well, great having you here. Even though we have difference of opinions on this NFL sport that we all are distracted in watching. I would say it's a good distraction because I'd rather have something to look forward to than to not have something to look forward to in the fall season, you know? Fall season gets a little bit more exciting when football comes around. Even the college football games are fun to watch. And every now and then I'll do my little quick reaction of results of games if nobody's on the phone talking to me during games. My job was park the cars of the Cowgirls. They were what that season? They were great that season? I don't know how good the Cowgirls will be this season. They had plenty of draft picks this season, and that might mean that the Cowgirls are going to be a little bit better in the future, potentially. But I don't think Rashawn Gary makes that team better. But a lot of Cowgirl fans, I watch them on here too. They think that the Packers were just not using Rashawn Gary correctly. So they feel like that they will be able to manage and operate Rashawn Gary a little bit better, I guess. We'll see. But I mean, I don't sit here and be like, oh yeah, they have no chance, but they weren't all that spectacular last season. They do have two really good wide receivers to throw the football to. They have what's his name, Pickens, and they have Lamb. Two guys that could basically be wide receiver ones on any team. But having a great offense is one thing, but you need to have a great defense to really excel, I believe, to really make it to the playoffs and excel into the playoffs. You got to have guys clicking on all cylinders on all parts of the field, even special teams, because I think what really hurt the Packers last season, yeah, they had injuries, but the offensive line wasn't spectacular. The special teams wasn't all that great. I parked the cars of the Dallas Cowgirls. They were really great gals. Well, I'm glad they were really great gals. I mainly called them the Dallas Cowgirls because the Cowboys, their team, is mainly known for their cheerleaders. They have phenomenal cheerleaders. They have a crazy tryout, I believe, to make sure that their cheerleaders are top of the line. You know, they got to be not just good looking, but be able to dance correctly and in formation or whatever. There's a dropped pass. Sky Moore dropped the football. That's not good. I think a lot of players too have to have the correct equipment for different weather conditions. Like if it's crazy warm, it's way different than when it's crazy cold. You know what I mean? Like, or if it's really rainy out, they all have like special equipment for different weather conditions that affects how they operate on the field, you know? There's a catch. Ooh, nearly picked off by Evan Williams. The Packers have some really smart safeties on this team. They have Evan Williams, they have Xavier McKinney. Now, a lot of people thought, they lost Jeff Halfley, so now the Packers defense is not going to be all that spectacular. But the truth is, they went from a Joel Berry defense to a Jeff Halfley defense. So automatically, it was a much better defense when they went from that route, you know? But now they have Jonathan Gannon, who was a previously a Arizona Cardinals head coach, previously a defensive coordinator for the Eagles, and he had made it to a Super Bowl. So there is a successful mind at the defensive coordinator position. And it's really all going to come down to them all clicking on the same page. They all have to stay healthy. There's a nice catch for number 80. Javon Bullard is now number 7 after the Packers let go of Quay Walker. I was in college, Dallas, Texas. That's pretty good. Okay, so you were in college and you worked for the Dallas Cowgirls. That makes sense. Oh, Cisse got shaken up. Oh, that's not good. Hopefully he's okay. Brandon Cisse is the Packers' very first pick of this past NFL draft. Guy looks like Jair Alexander in his prime sometimes. St. Juice with great coverage there. I want to see if I can get this stream beyond the two-hour mark if possible. Like, will it allow me to go beyond the 2 hours or will it just straight up end at 2 hours? My job was park the cars of the Cowgirls. I get it. All right, so the poll had ended. We had what team will win the NFC North? 82% said the Packers. 18% said the Chicago Bears. 0% for the Detroit Lions. I guess I'm just pulling in Bears and Packers fans for this stream. No Lions or Vikings fans. Oh, they're playing Caleb Williams' theme song, the Pink Pony Club. I'm surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Caleb Williams was like in a commercial for a nail salon place or something like that. You wouldn't catch me painting my fingernails. I don't care. Like, I guess Caleb Williams paints his fingernails because he wants to promote his. He claims he wants to promote his mother's business, But if you're making millions of dollars, right? Does your mother even have to work now? You know, I guess it gives his mother something to do, but you wouldn't catch me painting my fingernails. All right. Family night is continuing. They got some guy named Martinez out there. Tyrod Taylor's out there. All right. Let's see what Tyrod Taylor can do. Hands the ball off to the running back. He gets about 4 yards. Oh, what's going on with the Red Sox? Anybody here like baseball? The Red Sox won like 8 games in a row. Holy smokes. The Red Sox won 13-1 today. They are on a 9-game winning streak. That's ridiculous. They had a 15-game winning streak that broke, and now they're back on a 9-game winning streak. That's crazy. Wow. Pretty good practice, though. You know, people kind of criticize a practice for a football team. These guys are getting themselves ready for the regular season, so it's okay to not perform phenomenal at every single moment in practice. You know, they got to figure out all the kinks and fix everything. If you make a mistake, you're not always going to be at your best at all times, but I would rather make the mistakes now instead of in the regular season. And they basically just started, you know. I think they just had pads put on like a week ago. But Trace Mack's been pretty good here kicking that football. If Trace Mack can be a little bit better than McManus, that would be really nice. The Packers lost 7 points last season from missed kicks in the playoffs. Here's a long kick opportunity here for Trace Mack. Kick is up. Kick is no good, yeah. Forrest Gump, true story. What do you mean? They were great? Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump, true story. The Cowgirls. The Cowgirls. Wow, I got 212 views on my Dallas Cowgirls prediction video. That's crazy. Maybe I'll make more prediction videos. Apparently, people like those types of things, especially right before the season starts up. But it's all in good fun, you know? Like, people really take them really serious. That's a long kick for that young kid trying to make it. And, ooh, missed it. Do like the new special teams coach. He's a little bit more animated, a little bit more enthusiasm. They call him the Cam Accord. That's a very interesting name, Cam Accord. They even have fireworks at the stadium for this event for the Packers versus Packers Family Day event. All right, Tyrod Taylor's out there. Back to pass, and it's a catch. Oh, that's a nice pass. Tyrod Taylor to Sturdivant. How lucky can one guy be? And then a kick in the a kick in the head? What do you mean? There's a long pass. Is that a catch? That's a catch. Big catch. Michael Sturdivant, number 87, gets a big catch. That's a decent pass, too. All right, I want to see if I can hit 2 hours and not have any issues. Let's see. We're going to hit 2 hours really soon here. Well, Michael Sturdivant, he's the guy who's battling for a position for this wide receiving core. That's another good catch right there. The play is dead at the 1 yard line. Interesting. Oh, somebody's injured. Oh, who's injured? McClellan got injured. Hopefully he's okay. McClellan is the Packers' new defensive tackle. He got up and he's running, I guess, or kind of jogging. Hopefully he's okay. But yeah, we surpassed 2 hours here on the stream. 2 hours, a very long time to be streaming for me. All right, back to pass. Tyrod Taylor runs to the sideline there. He didn't throw the football or run it in himself. He got chased down, made a smart move, and didn't do anything, just ran it out of bounds. Is that a touchdown? It's a good pass to Sturdivant in the end zone, but was it a catch in the end zone? Was he inbounds? This is also a great opportunity for the NFL referees to get their practice in and trying to call the game on the field. Because you got to hope that these referees, they got to get the reps in too to be able to call good games. But there are times in which some of these referees don't call the best games. But that's the whole beauty of these practices and the preseason, to get not just the players ready, but the referees ready, get the coaches ready for when this season starts to kick off. We're just 1 month away from the regular season. You got preseason games that are going to start up again on, I believe, Thursday next week on the 13th. Friday the Not Friday, but Thursday the 13th next week. All right, Trey Smack going for a field goal here. Does he make it? 35-yard field goal. And it's up and it's good. Trey Smack gets the field goal. Okay. He's only missed one field goal so far in this practice, just a 51-yard field goal. Marshawn Lloyd catches a football. Jordan Love back to pass. Oh, almost intercepted by McKinney. Hopefully McKinney's okay. That was not on target to Watson there. All right. 2nd and 15. Jordan Love's about to be back to pass. And it's a short pass. Swinson got the football. All right. Long pass by Love. And Savion Williams was not looking back. That's not good. All right. Jordan Love back to pass. And complete. Javon Bullard might have a huge, huge season for the Packers for this upcoming season. The guy hits hard. He's looking great out there right here, right now for this family event. All right. Are they going to get a first down here? We'll see. Oh, you're not allowed to hit the quarterback. That's good. Jeez. All right. Jordan Love back to pass. There's a good pass. I, for one, think Jordan Love is the perfect quarterback for Green Bay. Boy has Swiss cheese for brains. McLovin me softly says. Oh, pass deflection there. Xavier McKinney, great defense. All right. Jordan Love at the 30-yard line. Back to pass. Throwing. Got a pass to Savion Williams. Nice, easy catch there for Savion Williams. Ooh. Just missed that catch right there. What? Try new try this question thing. What film? False start by the offense. How am I watching it? On Packers.com. Packers.com. You can go there and you can watch the NFL. You can watch the Packers Family Day. Field goal is good. Trey Smack. We're doing some throwing drills here. I got to post up some new Vikings and Lions. Minnesota Vikings and Detroit Lions record season prediction videos. I have a couple of those. I just haven't uploaded them yet. But if you haven't already done so, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Let me know that you are alive here. No matter what, I am going to make this catch. All right, family night. They are about to hike the football here. Back to pass, and they ran the football up the middle. Oh, somebody got hurt. Some guy named Jones got hurt. All right. All right. All right. All right. Packers are continuing their practice here for their Packers Family Day of 2026 at Lambeau Field. Back to pass. And it's a catch to number 87. Michael Sturdivant catches that football again. Guy's got good hands. I give him that. But right now he's going up against like third and fourth stringers. So it's different when you're going up against third and fourth stringers. All right. Not much on the run. All right, back to pass. McCord, I believe. Long pass, and it's deflected out in no man's land. He was trying to get the ball to Shepard. Safety had good coverage on that play. Hmm, pretty good. Pretty good. Well, they got drones out there now, number 13. So is it gonna be McCord or is it gonna be Drones as the 3rd string quarterback for the Packers? He's back to pass, throws a short pass. All right, 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. They ran the football up the middle. Now he's going the other way. Devonshire with the tackle. All right. They're going to commercial and then eventually fireworks at the Packers Family Day event. Oh, they are still here. Never mind. All right. They're running the football again up the middle. Oh, down the sideline. All right. Packers got the ball at the 25-ish yard line. Back to pass. Drones throws the ball to the end zone and nobody's there. Intended for number 85, I believe. But this is good right here. You know, you're testing out who is your 3rd string quarterback. Is it going to be Drones or is it going to be McCord? You're not allowed to hit the quarterback in this event. Matt LaFleur is talking with Drones right now. Doesn't seem like he was too happy with Drones. But it was basically a practice at Lambeau Field for the fans to see. It seems to be over because some players have taken off their jerseys and they're walking off the field, as it looks like. Yep, has concluded. All right. Hopefully the Packers can go back and win the NFC North this season. Zaire Franklin.
Now, you're not the only newcomer on the defensive side. Defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon looks like he's experimenting with all kinds of stuff with you guys. What's this defense going to look like this year? Fast, physical, sharp. We're going to take that ball away. We're going to set the tempo for the team. Yes, sir.
Packers are going to take that ball away.
Play next to a special talent like him. We play off each other. Our games complement each other perfectly. We're going to do our best to help lead this defense and be successful in the fall. Zaire Franklin, thank you. We look forward to it. Wide receiver Christian Watson in the house. Christian, let's start first. This offseason, you got a promotion. A well-deserved promotion. How does it feel to know you're here, Green Bay, Wisconsin, for the long term? Man, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's something that I've been dreaming of, since I was a kid, since I started playing football, and just to be able to, part of this organization, play in front of these fans. I mean, it means the world to me. It's a blessing. I appreciate y'all. It means the world to us, so it means the world to the fans. Now, the newcomer, Brandon Cisse, we see you matching up a lot with him already during training camp. What have you seen out of the young man? What are you trying to teach him? Iron Sharpens iron. Honestly, he's been real confident since the moment he's got here. He's made a lot of plays. So we're just going after it. It's a long camp. A lot of time for us to go back and forth and get each other better. But I love what I'm seeing so far, and our defense is doing a real good job, and he's going to be a big part of it. And the wide receiver room always got a lot of depth in there. Signed Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, the whole crew ready to roll. What do you guys want to accomplish? What do you want to show the world this year? We want to be best in the league. We think that if we're on our stuff, then we're gonna have the best offense in the league, and we're gonna be the best team in the league. I think that we got everything that we need to do it. So we just gotta show the world. You ready for some fireworks? Let's go, baby. Christian Watson, everyone.
All right. Christian Watson. Great interview right there. All right, I'm going to head out. This is the end of the stream. Hit that like and subscribe buttons, and it's Go Pack Go all day.